hold on. Big Ten championship this year or bust. Do you agree? I wouldn't say or bust. I definitely wouldn't say
it's hard
or
to
bust.
it's hard to win the Big Ten. I would say, I mean, it's definitely playoff.
Like I definitely like if Indiana goes into the season and like ends up 10-2, right? Like I'm not gonna be disappointed. Like I'm gonna maybe I'll be slightly disappointed, but like I obviously want to compete for the Big Ten championship.
Yeah.
That being said, to acknowledge Signetti saying there are teams out here spending $40 million. Like if they have a shot to compete for the playoff, I'm with it. But I think I would actually frame it as it is a more than realistic goal to shoot for that, because if this team is as good as we think they are and Mendoza is as good as we think he is, then they're going to have a elite quarterback, one of the best in the country. The offensive line got better. The defense is going to be better based on age and experience. Like they have the pieces to go out there and beat really good teams. So I'm not like, would I be surprised if they're in a position to compete for the championship after the season? No, I wouldn't. Like I would, like they have a shot. Like they Big Ten contenders for sure. Like I don't think I everything that I've seen this offseason tells me they have every chance to compete for that, and we'll see what happens on the field. But I definitely wouldn't say or bust.
I got John in a pretzel with my micro philosophy for recruiting, how stars matter or not. Individually, they do not. As in a team setting, they do. There we go. In a team setting, you want more 4 or 5 stars. You want high-level recruits.
Well, it's like
you want Caleb Downs on your team, is what I'm saying. But Caleb Downs,
I think when it comes down to it, you just want the best players.
Might not pan out to what he needs to be. In theory,
just because some website says somebody's a 5-star versus like what about like everybody says, like, so keeping the Caleb Downs example, like when you look at Caleb Downs, you're just like, regardless of what any website says, you're like, that's a good football player. Like I could add him to any team in the country and they would say yes. So it's like when you look at players like that, it's just if you accumulate enough of those players, you like blue chip ratio and all that stuff, like those metrics, when you track them over periods of time, like the best teams with the highest blue chip ratios, it's like it's not an exact science, and you can get lost when you just recruit based on those sites, which is why obviously we continue to say we have full faith and confidence in the guys in our rooms doing the recruiting because they're damn good at it.
Yeah. And back to the Big Ten championship or bust, like I have a record prediction of 11-1. I don't even know if that's enough to get in the Big Ten championship game. It wasn't enough last year, so we'll see what happens.
That's a good point, dude. They went 11-1 last year and didn't play for the big. They didn't play for it, and the team that beat them didn't play for it.
Yes, PK nailed it right on the head. But they'll nail those 4 or 5 stars. They'll get the right ones. Is what's important.
I don't like predicting
the macro records and the micro.
I don't like predicting records only because we still don't even know what the roster is going to look like. It's April. It's so hard to do that. But I know, like I'm not talking. I don't feel like I'm talking reckless about this team. Like there are like I'll give you an example. 2020 going into 2021, I was in an Uber ride or a taxi. Can't remember what it was, but like going to like my apartment in Massachusetts, and I'm like just hard selling the guy in the 2021 Indiana Hoosiers, like Michael Penix coming off an awesome year. I hadn't looked at the rosters. I couldn't tell you who was starting across. I was not nearly as in depth or focused on that team as I was. I was just going based off past success. I'm not in the trenches with this team per se, as in like I'm not in Bloomington. I'm not like actively talking to players and the team and coaches and things like that. But in terms of like paying attention and knowing personnel and like knowing how they stack up versus the rest of the country, like I don't feel like I'm talking reckless when I say like this team needs to be paid attention to. They're going to be a good football team. I am highly confident in their ability to compete with everybody on their schedule. And I'm so excited for this September 20th game and the week after against Iowa, the Illinois and Iowa matchups, because those are two teams I believe we're a tier above, and we get a chance to prove it on the field.
Well, I remember graduating after that 2020 season, and I should have seen the writing on the wall going into next year, because I stayed around Bloomington for about a month after graduation, just ripping the jungle, ripping sports, just ripping.
Yeah, I know, Brad. I was with you.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then I think one thing that stood out was the amount of times I saw football players doing the exact same thing I was. I think that's the biggest thing that stands out. I don't think this team does that. So I think that's one of the biggest differentiators in terms of why I feel so confidently about this team. And yeah, Abel, I have an Oregon Eugene dub as well, is what I have. I like us going to Eugene and winning this year. Because our guys don't go to the jungle at in
they don't even know what the jungle is. That's how locked in they are.
Good. Yeah. They shouldn't know what the jungle is. It's like not even an actual bar. It's a part of a bar that they shouldn't.
That being said, college kids should be college kids. Enjoy yourselves, have fun, just be responsible, be respectful. And this team is. That's not something we have had to worry about. It's not something I am worried about or anticipate being worried about because of the high character, high quality individuals they recruit.
Yeah. Exactly. There's plenty of time to go out. Just trust me. Like bored of it.